We're installing a yoke today. These yokes are fantastic. Pick one up in the description below. They have a ton of different colors. The one I chose is this white. Comes with a shower cap to keep it nice. They have carbon fiber accents on the side. You're going to be using the original parts from your steering wheel, the OEM one. So you basically have an OEM steering wheel just with a different back. If you get a carbon fiber option, it's going to come with these 3 pieces that you're going to use to install on the sides here. What you're going to need, obviously, is the steering wheel, a torque wrench.
This is a hex bit socket set. It's going to look something like this, and this is going to just be for your steering wheel to remove the main bolt holding it in.
Some torque bits as well.
You're also going to want these flatheads, and this is going to help you pop the airbag out from its holding pins. You'll see what I mean a little bit later in the video. I'll show you everything in super good detail.
You'll take this pick, and there's 2 holes on either side. You're just going to shove it in and try to pop the airbag out. That's basically the hardest part. It's pretty straightforward from there.
So you're going to want to take the flathead, you're going to shove it into the holes on either side. Make sure you know if your holes are up or lower. There is a difference, and you'll see that when you go to check out to buy your steering wheel. They're either up more or they're lower. Mine are up more, and it's going through the same process though. There's a little metal ring that lines the back of it, and this is what holds the clips in for the airbag. Boom, we just popped it out. Check it out.
This is what locks the airbag in. This is what connects it to the car, so you're gonna need to unplug this. You're gonna have to take all of this out as well to put it on the new steering wheel.
See this right here?
Yeah.
This little crossbar? You're basically, when you're pinning, you're trying to push these 2 here. This bar is what connects the airbag into this.
Oh,
so
shoot.
you have to spring load these in order to release the lock that's in these 3 pins.
Essentially pushing these in so it releases from this. There we go. So this is your airbag. It's going to be going into our new yoke. Size 10 seems pretty good. Okay, that's pretty straight to me. From there, you need a 3/8 to 1/2 inch adapter. Let's make sure that socket's in good. All right, as you know, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. So left is going to be this way or down this way. So if you don't have anyone to help you, try to hold the wheel firm with your steering knees. If you do have someone to help you, have them grab the wheel as well. Try not to press down on these buttons too much, but get your socket, your tools, make sure everything's lined up. Oh man. Oh, I think we got it. Make sure the wheel is pretty centered after you do that. So now we're gonna unplug this. Airbag's already unplugged. Okay, so there's these 2 tabs right here, up here and down here. You're gonna want to push them together to release this and pull it towards you. Get a little flathead driver and just press this up. With that pressed up, pull this bottom part out, hold that, press this in. Boom, okay. So with both of those clips pressed in, there are these ones right here, you gotta get these tabs out of the lock. So there's this tab right here, and you just gotta press that in. That's essentially what you're doing to release it. It's pretty much removed. All you gotta do, pull this bolt out. So now you got this, don't lose it, and pull the steering wheel off, and that's it. This car is no longer drivable at the moment. You're gonna see back here that there's these 3 metal pieces holding this in. Right here, and right here. Let's get the yoke so we can swap them. So now we have the yoke. It's essentially just gonna go right here, replacing what we had here. If you put them on top of each other, you can really see the difference. This one's a little bit wider, but also not as tall on the bottom, and obviously not on the top. We're gonna take all the guts out and put it in here. All right, so now is the time where you're gonna wanna release these clips. You can use your fingers if you want to, or I prefer is to just keep that flathead on hand. This clip right here, flathead, then just push it in and down to the front until you see that it clears this. And this one, we have to do it for it as well. So we're pushing this in, down, boom, just like that. And then we're gonna have to do that with this one as well. So this, pushing it towards the steering wheel, down, in front as well. Let's flip it. Oh, this one came back up. So you might have that issue. Just wanna push it back and then push it down. So if you look at the other side, you can see that these metal pins are all out as they should be. Now we can go ahead and unscrew these bits. So I'm gonna use a T25, fits right in there. Careful with that plastic and metal. You don't wanna be breaking that, so be gentle as you're pulling these out. Okay, and last one is up here, boom. So you have your screws, and make sure those metal tabs in the back are also released, and you're pretty much good to start disassembling. On the back of the steering wheel, you're gonna see these tabs right here, black plastic tabs. There's 2 of them up here on the bottom, and then on this other one. So you're gonna have to release these before you pull up from the front, otherwise you're gonna break it. Boom, one down. You can see that it's free up front. Let's do this one. Pull one side down once you get it released. Pull that, and then this one, same thing, up, same thing, up. And that whole part's just gonna come off. So you look in the front, you can see this whole wiring part is completely off. Okay, so this entire assembly is just held on by clips now once you remove those screws. So you're just gonna gently pull it up. You can see this side's already coming off. This side, pull up evenly as well so it comes off evenly. Good, good. Now we need to release the heating element from the control panel part of your steering wheel. It's going to be this right here. We're gonna grab a T10, put it in here. Works perfectly to just unscrew this because we need to remove the heating element for now so we can attach it to our new wheel. See, there's nothing left in here. We can just pull this up, out. This clip right here holds the connector for the heating element. So if you just pull forward and you push it up, it'll free itself. I'm just gonna unplug this. It's the last thing holding this to your old steering wheel. And boom, that's it. I'm so excited. It's almost time for the new yoke. Okay, where's that metal piece though? Oh, there we go. You need this too. Don't forget, do not forget your pieces. Understood? Good. With the shower cap still on, actually, because my fingers are a bit dirty, you're gonna want to put this in first. This little metal spring-loady bit. This is your heating element part that's gonna plug into what we have here. These are the carbon fiber pieces, at least this is one of them. So if you want to get it in carbon fiber, you're going to have to replace these covers, these black bits right here, and this very bottom part. You're completely replacing it. They're not caps. They're literally gonna go and replace these. So to do that, let's get our trusty T10. Now, they also use these smaller bolts right here. It's still a T, but I'm guessing it is gonna be a T5. And I was right. And this module right here is also being held on by these clips. Two here, and then one on this side. So let's go the easy route first. Press this in. You can either press it in, or with the help of a flathead, you can pull this tab up and it should release like that. From there, you can kind of shimmy the other side off. That's your scroll wheel right there. So let's take our carbon fiber piece. Wow, that is really, really nice right there. Look at that. Beautiful. Just pops right in. Like I said, not a cap. It is a full cover. It's important to note that there's these little tabs right here. You're gonna want to stick that underneath here. There's also little tabs underneath here. You're just gonna want to line them up with the wheel. Basically just want to make sure everything's aligned before you press it in. And the fact that they screw in is really gonna help with that. We're gonna start off with these smaller screws, putting the module to the carbon fiber. Good hand tighten, and then we're just going to put this in here. Remember that was previously a T5. You're going to need our T10 back here. All right, once everything is pretty much flush on this side, you're gonna want to move and go ahead to this side, and it's just the same exact process. Once you have these two carbon pieces down, looks super good, by the way. You're gonna wanna take this bottom part off. So you get your T10, and you're going to remove these screws as well. Now from here, this piece literally just pops right off. Throw that down, get your new, beautiful, might I add, carbon fiber piece. I mean, just look at this. It is so nice. And then you're just gonna go in and replace those screws. All right, and just like that, you should be good. So we'll take this. Now from here is going to plug into this blue one right here. So see if we can get it. It's keyed also, so it's only gonna go in one way. This has a little notch at the top and it's bigger on one side. You'll be able to tell for sure. So let's plug it in like this. Make sure it's all the way in. Once you can't pull it out anymore, that pin is fully in its slot. You'll know that you got it in. Okay, so once that's done, you gotta take this guy, make sure this wire and this wire is gonna line up right here. You're just gonna shove her back in. Push it down, and it should sit right there. Put the wire in like this. There's two little holsters on the side, or channels, and the wire's just gonna sit right there. Now, after that, let's flip it back around. They give you tons of slack here, which is super generous of them. Make sure this fits in, like this and like this. This is gonna require a T10. You're just going to want to replace those screws. Now we're gonna line the steering wheel up and we're gonna want to place it in. Make sure that metal clip is in there, otherwise you're not gonna have a fun time taking this out again. So the steering wheel has a few different tabs you're gonna wanna pay attention to. There's a hole here, there's a tab right here. It's gonna be the same on the other side. And then at the very bottom, there's going to be these two holes. They look like that. So there's one here and there's one on the other side, and there's two tabs. You're just gonna want to make sure that the tabs go into those holes. I find it easiest to do it from the bottom first. Make sure no wires are also getting caught along these side tracks. So you're just gonna want to push it in and make sure all the leather, you see how it's bulging up on this side a little bit, clips in, or you can push it in. So it sits nice and flush like that. There's gonna be a little bit of a gap, that's totally fine. And that gap is from you needing to screw these in. So take these, which are T20 bits, and you're gonna want to put them in each of the holes. Okay, so these wires also, they're getting kind of trapped behind this, which is what you definitely don't want. So if you didn't notice it like me, you can pull these wires in front and over. You see on this side how they're trapped behind here? This side, they're not. So you wanna make sure they're pulled forward like that. Oh, and you see this wire right here for the heating element poking out a little bit. You're gonna wanna just place that in and make sure that sits perfectly inside, because the last thing you want is to have wires pinching against each other. Okay, so that one is tight, and this one, go make sure that one is tight, very tight. This last one, tight. You can also check around the edges to make sure that there is very minimal gap. That's fine enough for me. It's bulging a little bit, but if it's bulging just a little bit down here, I think the leather just kind of has to settle down a little bit because it was popping out quite a bit. So over time, you can just push that in, but it looks pretty good to me. No complaints here. This looks fantastic. Before you put that on the wheel, because you're almost done here, you're gonna want to put these back in. So remember, they just have little tabs on the back. You're gonna want to pop them into place. There's one, and they should really pop in just like that. You can see the metal is right here. You have your tabs back into place. Make sure all of them are gripping onto the metal. Looks like they are, and you're done. That's it. Time to go back on. So you want to make sure that this is lined up. Place this bolt in. You can just use your fingers to get it started. Let's turn off the car before we start plugging things in. Your car might turn on and off every once in a while, and that's just from you sitting in the passenger seat and it reactivating. Let's go ahead and put this clip in. There we go. That's one. Let's keep tightening this. Okay, now I can no longer hand tighten it, and we're gonna have to use the torque wrench now. You wanna go to about 56 to 59 foot-pounds of torque. This is a little bit easier to hold it with your knees now, and you're just gonna wanna torque it up. You can actually, what's helpful is me pressing up here and then pushing this way. So you're literally going opposite directions. Okay, so it's also helpful because the knee trick didn't really work. If you press your hand against here and then push it like this. Don't want to get your face in that. That'd be really bad. Do not. Make sure you always have control over this. As a matter of fact, you can adjust your seat to make it easier to press up against with your knee as well. Yep. Oh, there we go. Okay. So you're definitely gonna need a friend or someone to help you out on that. Let's reconnect the airbag. First, I am just going to turn off the car again, one last time, power off. So these clips right here are going into these holes. This metal clip is what's securing your airbag in. That's what's holding these metal bits. So when you push into these holes, you're releasing it from here and from this bottom part, and then on both sides. So let's push her in. She's clipped in. Now we have to clip these in. So line everything up. This next part is going to be loud, so try not to do it at night. All right, all are clipped in, and that's it. It's fantastic. Guys, look at it. The carbon fiber, it matches the stocks that I have right here. I love it. And if you want to love your own, check out the links in the description. They're fantastic yokes, amazing quality. I got this one dirty, but I can easily wipe this right off. Great customer support, plug and play, super customizable. If you know anyone else that wants a yoke, share the video. It's a relatively easy install. You just need the right tools and you need a lot of patience. The results are more than perfect and more than worth it. All right, first drive with the yoke. This is pretty good. And on top of that, you can really feel the way the car is going.